There is something undeniably magnetic about Sagittarius. A fire sign ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion and wisdom, Sagittarius carries an energy that is bold, adventurous, and impossible to contain. But what if I told you that behind the fearless optimism and relentless pursuit of freedom, there lies a hidden power, one that few ever fully understand? You see, Sagittarius is not just the wandering explorer or the eternal optimist. Beneath that adventurous spirit is a complex duality, a force of nature that can be both a gift and a curse. Their thirst for knowledge and experience pushes them forward, yet their restless nature can leave them feeling unfulfilled. Their honesty is admired, but their bluntness can cut deeper than they realize. Their need for independence is empowering, yet it can also create distance in relationships. In today's video, we will dive deep into the hidden strengths, secret struggles, and untapped potential of Sagittarius. We will go beyond the surface, exploring how this sign's astrological influences, psychological traits, and subconscious patterns shape their lives. But more importantly, we will uncover ways to harness these traits for true self-mastery. Whether you are a Sagittarius yourself, have one in your life, or are simply fascinated by the mysteries of astrology, this video will reveal insights that may change the way you see this fiery sign forever. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover might just unlock a part of yourself you never knew existed. If you enjoy deep astrological insights that help you understand yourself and others on a profound level, make sure to subscribe to Zen Mind Peaceful Life. Your journey of self-discovery starts now. Let's begin. Recap 1. The fire that never dies, Sagittarius. Restless energy and impulsiveness. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion, adventure, and limitless possibilities. This influence makes Sagittarius an eternal seeker, constantly craving new experiences, knowledge, and personal growth. They are the ones who book a one-way ticket to an unfamiliar place, dive headfirst into new opportunities, and embrace uncertainty with open arms. But with this endless hunger for exploration comes a challenge, a deep restlessness that never truly fades. Many Sagittarians struggle with impatience and impulsiveness. Their enthusiasm for life pushes them to act before thinking, to chase after something new before fully appreciating what they already have. This can manifest in different ways: quitting jobs impulsively, moving from one relationship to another without emotional closure, or making grand decisions without considering the long-term consequences. From an astrological perspective, their fire element, shared with Aries and Leo, fuels their passion but also their tendency to burn too quickly. They love the rush of excitement, but when the initial thrill fades, they can quickly lose interest and seek the next adventure. This can lead to a cycle of never feeling truly satisfied, as they are always looking for the next big thing. Psychological perspective, the dopamine chase. Sagittarius impulsiveness can be linked to dopamine-driven behavior, the neurotransmitter responsible for motivation and reward. When they embark on something new, their brain releases a surge of dopamine, making them feel exhilarated and alive. However, as the novelty wears off, their dopamine levels drop, leaving them craving another rush. This is why many Sagittarians struggle with commitment, routine, and patience. Imagine a Sagittarius who suddenly decides to start a business because they're passionate about a new idea. They throw themselves into it, full of energy and enthusiasm. But when challenges arise and progress slows down, they start feeling restless. Instead of pushing through, they may abandon the project altogether, convincing themselves that it wasn't meant to be. The same pattern can appear in relationships, creative pursuits, or even personal goals. How to turn restlessness into strength. While impulsiveness can sometimes lead to reckless decisions, it is also a superpower when channeled correctly. Here's how Sagittarius can balance their adventurous spirit while maintaining stability. Practice mindful decision-making. Before making big life choices, take a step back. Ask yourself, am I chasing excitement, or is this truly aligned with my long-term growth? Commit to a vision, not just a moment. Sagittarius thrives when they have a purpose. Instead of chasing fleeting experiences, focus on a long-term goal that excites you and commit to seeing it through. Cultivate patience through challenges. Recognize that true fulfillment comes from depth, not just variety. Whether in relationships, career, or personal growth, enduring through difficulties often brings the most meaningful rewards. Balance novelty with consistency. Sagittarius needs variety, but that doesn't mean abandoning stability. Try structured flexibility. Create a plan that allows for spontaneity while still maintaining progress. Keycap to the truth that cuts deep. Sagittarius brutal honesty and lack of tact. Sagittarius is often praised for their fearless honesty. Ruled by Jupiter, the planet of wisdom and truth. They are natural truth seekers who value authenticity above all else. If you want an honest opinion, ask a Sagittarius. They will tell you exactly what they think, without sugarcoating it. But what happens when honesty turns into bluntness? When the truth, instead of enlightening, becomes a weapon? The astrological influence, the unfiltered messenger. Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign, meaning they speak with passion and spontaneity. Unlike Libra, who weighs their words carefully, or Pisces, who considers emotional impact, Sagittarius values truth above social niceties. They believe that being straightforward is a virtue, but they often overlook how their words affect others. This trait can be seen in their relationships, friendships, and professional lives. A Sagittarius may unintentionally offend a friend, hurt a partner's feelings, or create tension at work simply because they believe the truth needs to be said. To them, withholding the truth feels like dishonesty. Psychological perspective, the blunt communicator. Psychologists categorize people into different communication styles, and Sagittarius often falls into the direct communicator category. They prioritize clarity over emotional cushioning. While this can be refreshing, it can also make them seem insensitive or even arrogant. Imagine a Sagittarius who notices a friend has gained weight. Instead of choosing a gentle approach, they might say, "Wow, you've put on a few pounds." They don't mean harm, they are simply stating an observation. But to the other person, it can feel like an attack. Their bluntness can create distance in relationships, especially with sensitive signs like Cancer or Pisces, who take words to heart. How to transform honesty into a strength. Honesty is a powerful tool, but true wisdom lies in knowing how and when to use it. Sagittarius can enhance their communication by practicing thoughtful honesty before speaking. Ask, "Is this necessary? Is it helpful? Is it kind?" Reading emotional cues. Pay attention to body language and tone. Sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. Using constructive language, instead of saying, "Your work is terrible, try, I think you could improve this part by." Embracing emotional intelligence. The best communicators combine truth with empathy. Sagittarius can learn to deliver honesty in a way that uplifts rather than wounds. Keycap 3 The relentless seeker. Sagittarius fear of commitment and emotional detachment. Sagittarius is always looking ahead. They are explorers, adventurers, and visionaries. But this same desire for freedom can also manifest as a deep fear of commitment, whether in love, career, or personal growth. Astrological influence, the free spirit that refuses to be caged. As a fire sign, Sagittarius resists anything that feels confining or predictable. Unlike earth signs Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, who find security in stability, Sagittarius craves movement, novelty, and space. In relationships, this can make them hesitant to commit. They love deeply but struggle with the idea of permanence. They may fall in love passionately, then suddenly feel trapped and pull away. Psychological perspective, the avoidant attachment style. In psychology, Sagittarius often aligns with the avoidant attachment style, people who value independence over emotional closeness. They fear that deep emotional ties will limit their freedom. Imagine a Sagittarius who falls for someone deeply. At first, everything is exciting. But as the relationship deepens, they start feeling restless. The idea of forever feels suffocating, so they subconsciously create distance, finding flaws in the relationship or convincing themselves they need space. How to overcome the fear of commitment. Sagittarius doesn't need to give up their freedom to commit, they just need to redefine what commitment means. Realize that freedom and love can coexist. A strong relationship doesn't cage you, it supports you. Understand that consistency creates depth. True adventure isn't just about new places, it's about deep exploration of a single path. Challenge the fear of emotional vulnerability. Opening up doesn't mean losing yourself. It means experiencing life more fully. Final thought. Sagittarius isn't afraid of love, they are afraid of losing themselves in it. But real love is not a cage, it is a journey. One that can be just as thrilling as the wildest adventure. Keycap for the risk taker, Sagittarius love for danger and reckless behavior. Sagittarius thrives on excitement, adrenaline, and taking risks. But sometimes, their need for thrill-seeking can push them into dangerous territory. Astrological influence, the daredevil mindset. Jupiter's expansive energy makes Sagittarius overly optimistic, sometimes to the point of recklessness. They trust their luck too much, believing that no matter what, things will work out. This can lead to impulsive financial decisions, making big investments without research. Reckless travel choices, jumping into the unknown without preparation. Ignoring personal safety, dangerous stunts, extreme sports, unnecessary risks. Psychological perspective, the high risk, high reward personality. Psychologists have found that some people are wired for risk-taking, constantly seeking dopamine-fueled experiences. Sagittarius thrives in uncertainty. But this trait can become self-destructive if not managed. How to channel risk-taking into success. Instead of reckless risk, Sagittarius can practice calculated risk. Think before acting, is this a risk worth taking? Or just a rush of adrenaline? Develop backup plans. Even the most fearless adventurers prepare for the unexpected. Find safe outlets for thrill-seeking, extreme sports, entrepreneurship, and creative projects can satisfy their need for excitement without jeopardizing their well-being. Keycap 5 The search for meaning, Sagittarius deep spiritual and philosophical nature. Beneath the thrill-seeker exterior, Sagittarius is one of the most deeply philosophical signs of the zodiac. They are not just searching for adventure, they are searching for meaning. Astrological influence, the philosopher of the zodiac. Jupiter makes Sagittarius curious, idealistic, and always questioning. They don't just accept life as it is, they seek to understand the universe, themselves, and the deeper truths of existence. This is why many Sagittarians are drawn to spirituality, philosophy, and religion, world travel and cultural exploration, personal development and higher education. Psychological perspective, the existential thinker. Sagittarius often experiences existential questioning, wondering about their purpose and place in the world. This can sometimes lead to restlessness, dissatisfaction, or feeling lost. How to find meaning without feeling lost. Embrace the journey, not just the destination. Growth isn't about finding the answer, but learning along the way. Ground spirituality in daily life. Philosophy is powerful, but applying it creates real wisdom. Balance exploration with inner peace. Sometimes, the deepest answers come from stillness, not movement. Keycap 6 The rebel spirit, Sagittarius defiance against authority and rules. Sagittarius is the wild horse of the zodiac, untamed, independent, and fiercely unwilling to be controlled. Their natural instinct is to challenge limitations, question rules, and forge their own path. But this rebellious streak, while empowering, can sometimes lead to unnecessary conflict and self-sabotage. Astrological influence, the nonconformist explorer. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion and freedom. Unlike Saturn-ruled Capricorn, who thrives in structure, Sagittarius sees rules as barriers to be broken rather than guidelines to be followed. This makes them incredible visionaries, entrepreneurs, and leaders, but also individuals who may struggle with authority, discipline, or long-term commitments. They often reject traditional paths, choosing unconventional careers, questioning social norms, or resisting cultural expectations. While this independent spirit is a gift, it can also make them resistant to valuable guidance. Psychological perspective, the rebellious mindset. Psychologists have studied the rebel archetype, people who reject external control because they associate rules with restriction rather than protection. Sagittarius often seeks autonomy at all costs, but sometimes, this can turn into an unconscious pattern of resistance, where they push against authority even when it serves their best interest. Imagine a Sagittarius who refuses to follow workplace protocols, believing that rules kill creativity. While their intention is to stay free-spirited, their refusal to adapt may cost them opportunities for growth and collaboration. How to use rebellion as a strength. Rather than rejecting all structure, Sagittarius can learn to balance independence with wisdom. Pick battles wisely. Not every rule is meant to suppress you, some are meant to guide you toward success. Create your own structure. If external rules feel restrictive, design a personal system that allows for freedom without chaos. Embrace discipline as a tool for greatness. Many legendary visionaries from Steve Jobs to Bruce Lee were rebels, but they also mastered self-discipline to achieve their goals. Cap 7. The eternal student, Sagittarius' love for learning and its hidden challenges. Sagittarius is often called the philosopher of the Zodiac, a seeker of truth, constantly expanding their mind. They are lifelong learners, lovers of wisdom, and deeply curious souls. But beneath this thirst for knowledge lies a hidden struggle, the inability to stay focused on one path long enough to master it. Astrological influence, the scholar and the wanderer. Ruled by Jupiter, the planet of wisdom, Sagittarius is drawn to education, spirituality, and intellectual pursuits. Many Sagittarians are self-taught geniuses, deep thinkers, or world travelers who absorb wisdom from diverse cultures. However, because they are so curious about everything, they often struggle with sticking to one discipline long enough to reach mastery. They may jump from one subject to another, learning a little about everything but not enough to truly specialize. Psychological perspective, the shiny object syndrome. Psychologists refer to shiny object syndrome as a tendency to get distracted by new, exciting ideas before completing previous ones. Sagittarius, with their restless mind, often falls into this trap. Imagine a Sagittarius who starts learning 3 languages at once but never reaches fluency in any. Or someone who takes up a new hobby every month but rarely sticks with one long enough to become an expert. This pattern can leave them feeling frustrated and unfulfilled, despite their vast knowledge. How to transform curiosity into mastery. Sagittarius doesn't need to limit their interests, they just need a strategy to maximize their potential. Commit to deeper learning. Choose a few areas of focus and dedicate time to truly mastering them. Create learning milestones. Set tangible goals, such as reading a certain number of books, achieving a certification, or applying knowledge in real life. Combine curiosity with action. Knowledge without application is wasted. Sagittarius thrives when they turn learning into real-world experience. Cap 8. The optimist's dilemma, Sagittarius' blind faith and overconfidence. One of Sagittarius' most defining traits is their unwavering optimism. They believe in possibilities, luck, and the idea that everything will work out in the end. This mindset gives them incredible resilience, but it can also lead to overconfidence and unrealistic expectations. Astrological influence, the Jupiter effect. Jupiter, the planet of abundance, gifts Sagittarius with a natural sense of optimism, luck, and belief in the impossible. Unlike cautious signs like Virgo or Capricorn, Sagittarius often throws themselves into situations, trusting that things will somehow align. This can be a superpower, allowing them to take bold risks, dream big, and bounce back from failure. But it can also lead to underestimating challenges, thinking things will be easy and then feeling overwhelmed when reality hits. Ignoring red flags, believing that things will magically work out, even when clear warning signs appear. Overcommitting, saying yes to everything, assuming they can handle it all. Psychological perspective, the optimism bias. Cognitive psychology identifies optimism bias, the tendency to believe that bad things won't happen to us, even when evidence suggests otherwise. Sagittarius often sees possibilities more than risks, which can make them prone to financial mistakes, relationship disappointments, or overestimating their abilities. Imagine a Sagittarius who starts a business without financial planning because they believe everything will work itself out. While confidence is essential, ignoring practical steps can lead to avoidable setbacks. How to balance optimism with realism. Sagittarius can maintain their positivity while also grounding their expectations. Channel optimism into preparation, dream big, but plan for obstacles. Learn from setbacks. Instead of dismissing failures, analyze them and adjust for future success. Surround yourself with grounding influences. Partner with people who offer practical wisdom, a Virgo accountant, a Capricorn mentor, or a Taurus strategist. Keycap 9. The emotional paradox. Sagittarius struggle with vulnerability and deep emotions. Sagittarius is known for being bold, adventurous, and always on the move. But beneath their confident exterior lies an emotional paradox. They feel deeply but often struggle to express or process their emotions in a vulnerable way. While they may appear carefree, they sometimes use humor, distractions, or their love for adventure to avoid confronting deeper emotional truths. Astrological influence, the fire sign that avoids emotional depth. As a mutable fire sign, Sagittarius is driven by action, not introspection. Unlike water signs Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, who dive into emotions naturally, Sagittarius prefers to intellectualize their feelings rather than truly sit with them. This can create a contradiction. They love passionately but resist emotional dependence. They care deeply but fear being trapped in heavy emotions. If they experience heartbreak or emotional pain, instead of processing it, they may escape through travel, work, or new experiences. Joke about their pain to avoid serious discussions. Detach and convince themselves that emotions aren't that important. Psychological perspective, the avoidance of emotional depth. Sagittarius often adopts an avoidant coping mechanism, choosing to distract themselves rather than process emotions deeply. Psychologists call this emotional bypassing, where someone uses philosophy, humor, or external experiences to avoid dealing with their inner world. For example, if a Sagittarius goes through a difficult breakup, instead of allowing themselves to grieve, they might book a last-minute trip to another country, start a new hobby or work project immediately, convince themselves they were never that invested anyway. While this approach helps them move forward quickly, it doesn't allow for true healing. Unprocessed emotions can later manifest as restlessness, unexplained frustration, or difficulty forming deep emotional bonds. How to cultivate emotional depth without losing freedom. Sagittarius doesn't need to become overly sentimental, but learning to embrace vulnerability can lead to deeper, more meaningful connections. Practice sitting with emotions instead of running from them. Journaling or meditation can help them process feelings instead of escaping them. Recognize that vulnerability is not weakness. True strength lies in being able to express emotions without fear. Balance action with reflection. It's okay to move forward, but taking time to reflect on experiences can lead to real emotional growth. Keycap 10. The power of purpose. Sagittarius need for a bigger mission in life. Sagittarius is not content with a small life. They need a sense of purpose, a mission, something grander than themselves to strive toward. More than just adventure seekers, they are visionaries, teachers, and spiritual seekers, constantly looking for higher meaning and universal truth. Astrological influence, the seeker of truth and higher knowledge. Jupiter, the ruling planet of Sagittarius, is associated with philosophy, expansion, and higher consciousness. This is why many Sagittarians are drawn to spirituality, philosophy, or religion, teaching, coaching, or guiding others, entrepreneurship or creative projects that make a difference. Unlike earth signs, who seek material stability, or air signs, who crave intellectual stimulation, Sagittarius needs a vision that fuels their soul. Without it, they can feel lost, directionless, or even depressed. Psychological perspective, the existential search for meaning. Psychologists often discuss the idea of existential fulfillment, the belief that humans need a purpose beyond survival to feel truly satisfied. Sagittarius is especially prone to existential restlessness, constantly questioning, what am I meant to do in this life? Is there a greater meaning behind all of this? Am I making a real impact, or am I just wandering aimlessly? This is why many Sagittarians go through phases of exploration, crisis, and reinvention. They may change careers multiple times, move to different places, or adopt different belief systems throughout their lives, all in search of a mission that truly fulfills them. How to find purpose without feeling trapped. For Sagittarius, purpose should feel like an adventure, not a burden. Here's how they can align with their higher calling. Look for ways to inspire or educate others. Sagittarius is a natural teacher. Whether through writing, speaking, or mentoring, they thrive when they share wisdom with the world. Follow curiosity, but commit to something meaningful. Purpose doesn't come from endless searching. It comes from choosing a meaningful path and dedicating themselves to it. Balance personal freedom with impact. The key is finding a mission that excites them without feeling like it limits them. Whether it's starting a passion project, helping a cause, or building a business, Sagittarius thrives when they see their efforts making a difference. Sagittarius is a force of nature, driven by freedom, truth, adventure, and the pursuit of wisdom. But their greatest power comes not just from their ability to explore the world, but from their willingness to grow, evolve, and align with a purpose greater than themselves. Their journey is not just about movement, but about meaning. Not just about freedom, but about depth. Not just about seeking, but about discovering who they truly are. For those who resonate with Sagittarius energy, embrace the adventure. But don't be afraid to dive deep, to commit, and to turn your passion into something truly powerful. If you found this insight valuable, make sure to subscribe to Zen Mind Peaceful Life for more deep astrological wisdom and self-discovery. The journey doesn't end here, there's so much more to explore.